Hello and good evening, and firstly thank you for taking up your valuable time this evening to join us for our presentation all about 11 Fairfield and The Kite in Ilfracombe. Now this property is a real treat, something a little bit unusual, shall we say, because we've got a modern 1970s built main family home together with a stunning architecturally designed holiday house that's been built in the grounds. So something that you probably wouldn't ordinarily see elsewhere. So you could say a fairly unique property. So by way of a brief introduction, my name's Lee Hustle. I'm the director at Weathers and Weathers Fine and Country. And as I say, this presentation is all about Devon, Fairfield and The Kite. We'll probably take somewhere between 3/4 of an hour and an hour to run through the presentation. There's lots of information that hopefully you'll find very useful, that we can get through to help you make a more informed decision about coming to have a look at the property and hopefully ultimately buying that. So what I'd like to do initially is I'd just like to get our agenda up on the screen, just so you know what we're planning to offer today. So if you just bear with me 1 second while I deal with that, and then we can get into the main body of the presentation. Just queuing that up here. Right, okay, there we are. There is our agenda. So yeah, introduction. I shall just run through a brief overview of 11 Fairfield and The Kite. So just give you a bit of a talk through the main key features that both properties offer, including the location, the fantastic views, and all the things that are going to be attractive to someone looking to buy. We'll then get into the main sort of meat of our presentation, which is our guided internal walkthrough tour of both buildings. So using the wonders of technology, we can walk you through the main house, and we can also walk you through The Kite. Now, equally important, the property sits in delightful gardens which have been landscaped. It's about 1/3 of an acre, actually, which is unusual again for properties in this sort of location. So we'll wander through those gardens and we'll show you the office building. And we've also got something there that you'll notice called the chic shed. So it's a little bit of fun. It's a little additional unit, shall we say, which could be used in a variety of ways. So more on that later. A little bit about the local area, you know, our local area in and around Ilfracombe, some of the towns and villages and the local amenities. You know, we'll give as much information there as we can. We've got fantastic beaches around our area and also lovely countryside. So we'll give you a bit more information on that. And of course, you know, The Kite is a holiday house, so it is used for holiday let purposes. And so there's a fantastic income that our current owners put in from The Kite. So it's really great to be able to generate that sort of income from what is effectively your home. So we'll talk to you about those income streams that they are able to generate. Finally, we will go on to questions and answers. We have got a session specifically for that at the end. But, you know, there is the ability for you to ask questions as we run through. So please feel free, if you do want to ask any questions as we go, to type those in, you know, to the screen there, and either myself or my colleague Carly, who's with me today, will pick those up and we will try and answer those as we go. Hopefully, we will cover all of the information that you need, so there won't be too much need for those questions and answers. So I want to now come on to the sort of the brief overview of The Kite. So I will just again just load up and get ready to be able to do that for you. Just give me 2 seconds and get that onto the screen. Okay. So there we go. We've got Devon, Fairfield and The Kite, and this will give you just a bit of an overview of exactly what the property is all about. So the main shot there, look, just shows how the two properties relate together in the 1/3 of an acre of grounds that I said the property enjoys. So the main house down at the bottom here, along with its garage and parking area, and then you've got access up to The Kite, which is built in the back garden. Now the Kite was built, I think, just over 2 years ago now, and has been used very successfully as a holiday let. So there we are, there's a further shot as to how it all links together. So just some labels there as to what the plot is laid out as. So main house again down the bottom, the Kite at the top, but actually in between we've got the home office. That's not the home office of the government, incidentally, that's the home office of the property. And that's a really useful little building for anyone that lives and intends to work from home, or it could be utilised for all sorts of different purposes. The sheep shed sits over this side and is tucked away up in the gardens. And it's a really lovely little bit of fun, really, as much as anything else. And you'll see the beautifully landscaped gardens that sit in between everything. So there we are, that's the 11 Fairfield bit, that's the main house. And it's a beautifully presented home. The current owners have spent a lot of money throughout the property in their time there. And it'll be evident as we walk through just to see how lovely it is. There's been lots of improvements made in the owner's time. And there we are, that's the stunning, and I think, really attractively built Kite building. So that's the holiday house element that sits at the top of the garden. The name Kite comes from its angular design. You'll see the pointy shape there. It is a triangular shape, so it looks a bit like a kite, hence that name. But it's been built to a very, very high standard. It's contemporary, and it is somewhere where if you were coming to holiday there, I think you would be over the moon when you turned up. Now, the property sits in a great location. The building just in the foreground there in the middle of the shot, that is actually the office building. So again, that's an interesting design. Monopitch roof, it's just a bit different from your bog standard shed. But the main thing here is this fantastic view that you see off in the distance. The rolling hills of the Torrs, and then you can see the Bristol Channel here just off on the right-hand side. So it's a lovely outlook that the property enjoys. There's the office building again with the deck outside. So a great little spot for an alfresco meal or something like that, or an evening drink. And there's the chic shed. It does very much look like a shed from the outside, but on the inside, it is a different story. So more on that later. Well, there is the inside actually, so maybe not so later. You'll see there's a bed in there, there's a sofa in there, and look, you can even sit and make yourself a cup of tea. It's got its own electricity supply and it's got its own power. And it's just used actually for family and friends and guests that may turn up from time to time. It's almost overflow accommodation. It's not an official part of the property or anything like that at all. It is just a little bit of fun, but it can be again used for a variety of purposes. Kids would absolutely love it, of course. The main house is beautifully done out. Look at that view in the background. Look, stunning. Looking out towards the Torrs there. That's from the main living sort of dining space. Kitchen leads off of that and leads through. So that's where we were a second ago, down the far end of the room. Separate lounge. And then you've got this lovely master bedroom up on the top floor. And the real lovely feature is this dormer window with the glazing right up to the apex. Again, a stunning feature. The gardens were a real treat. Obviously, this time of the year, these gardens are going to be looking great. It's January, no, it's not, it's February, even 1st of February today. The gardens will only improve. But this gives you an idea of what the gardens look like more around the summer months. It is awash with colour. There's lots of trees and shrubs and bushes around which give a nice privacy screen around the property. Little garden pond at the top, just a nice serene sitting area with plenty of sunshine and a bit of privacy. And again, the Kite has its own amenity space. There's an area that's allocated for the guests when they're staying in the Kite building. Views, as I say, superb. Really lovely views out over the town and towards the Torrs and the surrounding countryside. That's a brief overview. As I say, the main house itself comprises 4 bedrooms and it's got 2 bathrooms, one on the ground floor, one on the first floor. There is a ground floor bedroom as well, which can always be handy depending on who's living in the property. If you've got older or disabled persons, having the ground floor facilities is really useful. There is a lounge and there is a separate kitchen dining area. In the Kite, we've got 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. So both of the bedrooms have their own ensuite facilities. A really fantastic open plan living, dining and kitchen area. Now, the property is currently being offered for offers in excess of £895,000. And effectively, you're getting 2 properties for that money. The Kite itself is producing a very healthy income. And as I say, we'll talk in a little bit more detail about exactly what that income looks like a bit later on. So what I'd like to do now is get into the main sort of meat of our presentation. And I'd like to walk you around the 2 properties. So using the wonders of technology, we have the ability to wander around both of the buildings. So we're going to start our tour in 11 Fairfield. So this is the main house. And as you'll see, we've come in through the front door, we're in the main hallway. So you know, as I spin around there, that's your main entrance. And there's a little porch the other side of that door there. So you've got a little bit of protection as you come in. You've got your lounge off to the right. Stairs up to the first floor. It's a bit of a vaulted ceiling here, gallery sort of style landing. Only a very small sort of gallery, but nevertheless, it gives a bit of a feeling of space as you walk in the main front door. You've got this nice tiled floor, which goes through the hall, goes through into the kitchen diner. It also goes through into the lounge as well. So it's a nice hard-wearing sort of low maintenance feature there. We'll head into the hub of the home first, because this is a room that you probably spend a lot of your day in. It's a fantastic light-filled room. You look at all the windows at the kitchen end, look at the big window at the side, and then you've got this fantastic big picture window at the front. Now, clearly, it wasn't quite such a sunny day when the virtual walkthrough tour was put together, but the views out over the property, the town and the surrounding properties towards the Torrs are really great. It's a lovely little big room, this, great for family entertaining, just for family living, family life in general. You know, any of your parties or anything like that at all, kids doing the homework, you know, people working in the kitchen, everyone's together. You know, it's a nice area to sit and enjoy. And as I say, probably your main daytime living space, really. Nice slate work surface on this island unit. And then we've got solid wood worktops on the remainder. Range style cooker over here, and then you've got the extractor canopy sitting above there. So plenty of storage, you know, lots of units and things. And then out the back here, we've got this separate sort of little conservatory come utility area. So big fridge freezer there, you've got washing machine, tumble dryer, separate fridge, little unit there, microwave, look. And a door directly out onto the rear yard, which is within the garden area of the property. So just a really handy extra little space. It's a glazed ceiling in here, glazed roof, should I say. So that allows plenty of light to pour in, but also doesn't make the back of the kitchen dark. Because obviously, as I say, it's a light-filled room, that, and it does really feel light, spacious and airy when you're in here. It's all gas centrally heated. It's UPVC double glazed, and obviously services and things are separate from that of the Kite up at the rear. So we're going into the snug now, the sort of the cosy lounge. Again, big picture window at the front, which takes full advantage of the lovely views that the property enjoys out over. It's not a proper wood burner, that one, but it's a feature. You know, so it's just a nice little sort of fireplace there. The fireplace works; it's just not a proper wood burner, but it is a fire that will give some warmth off. It just provides a focal point to the room and gives it a nice characterful feel. There's a nice snug room. This again, you've got this lovely slate sort of tile floor in there, or stone tile floor. Plenty of room for your armchairs and your sofas and things. Now, as I said when I was giving the brief overview, there is a ground floor bedroom and bathroom, and the way you get to that is down through the hallway here. So there's the bedroom directly ahead, and the bathroom goes off to the left there. Very useful understairs store cupboard, so perfect for the vacuum cleaner and the ironing board and all the bits and bobs you want to keep out of the way. And the bathroom first. So we've got you know, some built-in furniture in the bathroom there. You've got the toilet and the hand basin all built into the cupboard. And you've got a bath in here with a shower above the bath, tiling to the walls. So, you know, you've got good facilities there. Now, the ground floor bathroom and toilet is great, obviously, if you've got visitors coming during the day, but also if you've got guests using the ground floor bedroom, or you've got somebody permanently in the ground floor bedroom. There is the bathroom immediately adjacent. It's almost like having its own ensuite. This is a nice sized double room located at the back of the building, overlooking the garden here at the rear. And as you see, there's plenty of space in this bedroom for all of the fixtures and fittings that you need. So really handy, as I say, having that ground floor bedroom if you've got elderly or disabled residents or you know, guests of a similar ilk. So that's our ground floor accommodation. Although sometimes this thing isn't that easy to control, so just bear with me. Let me reverse out. Get on in circles here. Right, here we go. We're going to go upstairs. So as I get to the top, a little bit too far. Let's get back out there. Let's just go on to this little galleried landing area here. As I say, you can sort of look down over into the hallway below you. It's quite a high vaulted ceiling. This gives you a better idea of the height of the ceiling. So that does feel quite spacious when you walk in the main front door there. You see the height as we look down into the hall. There's a useful store cupboard here on the left-hand side. And you've already seen part of this shower room because I ended up in here as I got to the top of the stairs. But there we are, they've got a shower room up here as well. So shower, toilet, hand basin, tiling again, the walls and the floor. And this facility serves the bedrooms upstairs. There's 2 bedrooms upstairs. We'll go in the main bedroom first. So there's 3 bedrooms upstairs, not 2. We'll go in the main bedroom first. And I showed you the picture of this earlier on. And again, you've got this nice big window at the side, but equally you've got this fantastic dormer. Now, this has been added by the current owners. Yeah, the walk-through tours doesn't allow me to really see the view quite so much because the lamp's in the way, but it's a cracking view from there out over the town towards the Torrs and the Cairn. And it's a really nice feature, this, because it just, the angular shapes again, just adds a bit more interesting character. There's eaves store cupboards on both sides, and there is an eaves store cupboard in behind the bed as well. But the bed is very cleverly positioned, so you look straight down, almost like this tunnel-like sort of view. It sort of frames that view out over as you look from the bed there. As you see, there's plenty of room in here for everything. And as I say, all in very nice, tip-top, sort of well-presented order. As we cross the landing, I'll try and do that without heading down the stairs or into the bathroom again. We've got 2 bedrooms on this side, so there's will be 3 in total upstairs. This is the double bedroom on the opposite side of the landing. You'll see big wardrobes here, big bed, and again, you know, you've got views from this window out over the town towards the Torrs. Just giving the aspect from this side. See the big wardrobes there. There's plenty of room for everything. And then as I head across the landing, we've got this. This is a smaller 4th bedroom. At the moment, the current owners use it as a dressing room. Again, big wardrobes here that fill this recess. Hanging well, again, there's a chest there. We're at the back of the building again. And then as I pan around, it just gives you an idea of the room. So it's a sort of an L-shaped room. So it would fit a single bed. It could be a little office area if somebody wanted a specific office or something like that within the house. I know we've got the office building externally, but if you just wanted a little computer room or a study area or a kids' playroom or something along those lines, it would work quite nicely for that. Again, just looking back down into the hallway there. So there we are. We've got main bedroom this side, shower room, smaller 4th bedroom, and then another double bedroom on the opposite side. So that's the 1st floor accommodation. Now I'm going to head back down the stairs because we're going to now transform ourselves into the Kite building. Now you may have noticed when we were down here before, there's this little house on the island unit here. So when I click on that little house, we will disappear into the Kite. So we're going to head there now. Here we are. We are in the Kite. So it's almost like Star Trek there, beaming up Scotty. So we've been beamed up to the top of the garden, and we are now in the Kite. And you know, the first thing that grabs you in this building is wow. You know, when you actually physically walk in here, you say wow. Everybody I have taken into this building has said wow. It is beautifully done. It is in tip-top order. It's immaculately finished, and it's just a really lovely design. You know, the different angles, the different shapes, these full height sliding doors here, you know, really frame that fantastic view. I mean, it doesn't do it justice really on this shot, but it is a stunning view from here out over. And you've got direct access from the Kite out onto this nice deck gravel sitting area. So that's allocated specifically to the users of the Kite when they have the holiday guests coming in. So this house does have a holiday-only restriction. That's a planning restriction that was put on the property when the planning consent was granted. Now, in reality, maybe I shouldn't be saying this, is that ever really truly strongly policed? Probably not. If somebody did want to use this maybe as a slightly more semi-permanent residence, there may be the opportunity to do that. Clearly, there is the possibility of changing the planning consent if somebody wanted to use it as an annex, if it was for dual family occupation or something like that. I'm sure there would be a way forward there. But it would potentially be subject to that official consent needing to be granted. Dare I say it, if you buy it and use it for a slightly different purpose, on your head be that. So as I'm wandering around here, I'm just trying to show you the different areas of the property as we go. The kitchen is all very nicely fitted and well equipped. So you've got space for your fridge freezer there. There's a dishwasher built into the unit just there. And you've got the built-in oven, hob and extractor. Let me take a step back to show you that a little bit better. There we are. Stairs lead up to the first floor here. There's a couple of very useful store cupboards here, and one of those cupboards houses the washing machine. So there is a washing machine plumbed in here. The boiler's also in one of the cupboards as well. And there are some solar panels on this part of the building as well. So this building does benefit from solar PV to supplement the electricity supply, which again is great and helps with energy consumption, which is a massively important feature these days, bearing in mind the exorbitant cost of our utilities. Nice little cloakroom on the ground floor, so separate from the two en suites that exist for the two bedrooms. That's just looking right across the room. So it's a lovely, big, spacious room. This there is an air recirculation system in this building as well. That's what these vents and things here are for. And there's some very clever lighting. This uplighting along here is really effective when you're in the building. It just adds another dimension to it, especially at night time when it all lights up. Because if you leave these windows to be opened up at night, you start to see the sparkly sort of lights across the thing there. I'm now going to head into the ground floor bedroom for the Kite. So there are two double bedrooms here, and you'll see this is a really nice room. It does have sliding doors here. Sorry, not sliding doors, but double doors here that lead out over onto a little secluded decked sitting area. This is around the side of the Kite. So just a little feature really. But a nice sized room, as you'll see here. Now, these beds are put together at this moment in time as a double, but these do separate into two single beds. So if you had a family here, 2 adults, 2 children, then you can separate these beds out and the 2 children can have their own beds there. So it's very flexible in its setup depending on who you're wanting to cater for that particular week or 2-day or 3-day holiday. Really nice ensuite, all the mod cons, lovely shower there with the raindrop head fittings, illuminated towel, illuminated mirror there and the heated towel rail, nice tiling, and good quality fixtures and fittings throughout. All sort of low voltage LED lighting as well, which again is another important factor for energy consumption. As I say, the standard of finish throughout this building is exemplary. The builders that they had do this work for them, the current owners, were very, very good indeed. And the local architect that designed this has done a sterling job as far as I'm concerned. I think it's a great building. We're now up on the top floor. The top floor is devoted just to what will be the master bedroom, really. We've got the nice Velux roof light window in there to let the light pour down. And you come into this lovely bedroom. This is where you've got, again, angles and shapes. We're up in the triangular part of the building now, which is exaggerated by these triangular shaped windows as well. And that really, again, frames the fantastic view. The elevation you've got in this part of the building, you know, gives you that even better view out over because you're just that much higher up. Again, you've got storage in the units here. Quite funky radiators, you know, rather than just the bog standard norm. And these double doors, you can throw those back and you go out onto a private and sheltered balcony. I'll show you that in a minute. More eave storage here. Now, you'll notice the bed is up against this sort of little partition wall here. We came in around this side and we walked around the bed. As I walk around this side, you've got a really cleverly designed setup here. So there's a wardrobe in behind this door here. So you've got plenty of space for your storage, your clothes and things when you're on holiday. Then you've got this beautifully designed shower and bathroom. So you've got a shower on one side, nice big shower cubicle, walk-in shower cubicle there, with again, same sort of fitting as downstairs. Basin in the middle, and then you have got the separate bath as well and the toilet there. Again, nice tiling, heated towel rail, and the big Velux window to allow the light to pour in. So it's really cleverly designed with, you know, a fantastic, really lovely building. Let's say, if you came here on holiday, you'd be blown away. There's just nothing not to like. But there we are, there's the view. But, I mean, this lovely sheltered balcony, you're right up in the sort of the apex here with the kite bit, and this prop that's in here, this big cable, you know, really anchors the thing to the ground. And I think there's a huge amount of engineering that went into that, from what I'm told by the current owners. So there's plenty of room up here for table and chairs, so you can sit out. If the weather's not quite so kind to you, you can sit in underneath here. You've got this canopy which gives you that protection and shelter. So it doesn't matter what the weather's doing outside, whether it's too hot, too cold, too wet, you know, you have got that shelter. A really, really lovely feature. And you're looking down over the gardens there as well. As I say, the town at night time is really stunning. And it lights up as well. So morning, noon or night, gin and tonic terrace, call it what you like. It's just a great feature. So there we are. That is all of the internal accommodation at 11 Fairfield and the Kite. So I think hopefully, you know, that gives you a really good idea of what this superb property is all about. And as I say, you won't find another one like this anywhere. I've not seen one, and I've been doing this job 28 years now. So it really is a one-off, and you cannot appreciate the quality of this place until you come and see it. It is in a great location. The schools for all ages are very close by, so there's a family home, it works well. The Tesco supermarket is near. The high street's probably less than half a mile away. In fact, it is less than half a mile away. You know, everything is on your doorstep there, yet you do feel as though you're tucked away a little bit in your own grounds. As I say, a third of an acre of garden is unusual for properties of this type. What I want to do now is I just want to show you actually, just want to get the floor plan up just to give you a better idea of how the accommodation links together. It's sometimes difficult for you to follow when we're walking around on a walk-through tour. So let me just get that up again. I'll flip down through to the relevant page here to get the floor plans up. So just bear with me 1 second while I link that through. Right, here we are. So this is now 11 Fairfield, so the main part of the house. So I just really wanted to give you a very brief overview of how the accommodation links together. It's just easier sometimes to understand that. And you'll notice at the bottom of the page there, you know, it's generous floor areas. The total property is very roughly 117 square metres in terms of its usable space. So it's a generous size, that, and you know, good for the family style home. Moving on, the Kite, you know, 2-bedroom accommodation, but it's 93 square metres. So again, it's a generous size for a 2-bedroom property. And you'll see, you know, the different shapes there within that living space and how all of that links together. And again, likewise with the main bedroom up on the top floor, it's got that really cleverly designed walk around in behind to get to the wardrobe and the ensuite bathroom there. But it's a really great It's a really great space, that both property well designed and perfect for their uses. So moving on now, we would like to go outside. The outside of the property is equally as important as the inside, because when the weather allows us, we love to be outdoors as Brits, and we're not blessed with the weather in this country, but the gardens do offer a lot. We've got the office building within the gardens, as I've mentioned, but also the sheep shed, and obviously the kite that sits at the very top of the garden. So what I'm going to do now, I am going to play you a little video which just shows more about the outdoor areas. So what I need to do is just get that up on my screen here. So just bear with me 1 second while I get all that queued up. Right, okay, so we now have the full screen. So this is me giving you the guided tour of the garden and the outbuilding areas.
So here we are outside the front of the property now, outside of the main house, 11 Fairfield. You'll just see that in behind me here. So what I want to do is I want to just walk you around the gardens, because they're really lovely gardens here with the property, and unusually for its location, the gardens amount to the best part of 1/3 of an acre. That includes the land that the two properties are sat on as well. And you'll see there's lovely little sitting areas as we meander through the gardens. Now within the garden as well, you've got the office building, which is really useful for those who want to live and work from home, but alternatively it could become a little workshop, or it could become a games or hobbies room or something similar. Equally, we've also got the chic shed, and the chic shed is definitely more than first meets the eye, because it is used as a very occasional extra bedroom, but it's quite a sweet little unit, and again just adds to the fun that this property does create. Of course, then at the very top of the garden you've got the fabulous kite building, and we'll just show you around the outside of that one as well, and of course the excellent views out over the town towards the Torrs and the Bristol Channel in the distance. So let's have a look around now. So I'm just standing here looking up at the property, looking up at the main house. The front garden extends away down from the main house, and down at road level we've got the garage and parking. I'll just flash back onto that in a minute, but just before I do that, just let you have the street scene down the road. Fairfield is a really nice little close, it's a big loop, so there's an entrance down the bottom of that road there. It comes all the way up and around, and there's another entrance further down around to the left following the road. Now, the garage is the first of the two garages you see in the shot there, so the garage on the right-hand side of that block, and then you've got a brick-paved parking area here where the wheelie bins are. A couple of steps up then between the garage and the parking area to the main house, and then up through the garden to the kite building. So the gardens have been beautifully landscaped throughout. Now look, we are the 1st of February today, so nobody's garden is going to be looking absolutely at its colourful best at this present moment in time. But it does, I promise you, get awfully much better in the summer and spring months. So as I go up this set of steps here, you've got the side garden here, so you can get right the way around both sides of the property. You've got the egg-shaped seat there, which is obviously a great vantage point, and a lovely area to sit and enjoy those views. You know, the views from this property, as I said a second ago, really are a treat as you look out over. This terrace as well, another sitting area here, provides another lovely space to come and sit. So front of the house here, and we'll make our way up around this side of the property. That's just looking down over the steps. That's the access up from the parking area in the garage. And then you've got this low maintenance sort of gravelled pathway here. So this is the entrance up to the kite. There we are, welcome to the kite. So for the holiday guests that come and stay here, this is the way that they would make their way up through the garden to that lovely building. So as we go up through the garden here, the first building that you see on the left is the office building. So a really nice building again, good design, a bit different from just the bog standard ordinary. I'll show you more of that inside in a minute. And then outside of the office building there, you've got this really nice decked terrace. So again, more of that shortly. There's the kite up at the garden, top of the garden there, just sitting very proudly as I say, it's a really wonderful design, that. It just fits in so well in this in the top of the garden here, and the design really does fit the surroundings. So the garden's very well stocked. As I say, lots of shrubs, bushes, plants, trees, and this garden really is awash with colour, as I say, when you get into the spring and summer months. Just going to head on around to this side of the garden now, just passing this lovely big flower bed. So you can imagine this in the spring and the summer look, all colourful. Looking back at the office building again. And this area here is the bit that I refer to as the chic shed. Well, I don't refer to it as a chic shed, the owners refer to it as the chic shed. Just to reiterate that point, there's the name plaque, look, welcome to the chic shed. Now I'll show you more of that inside in a second as well. Just before I do that, I'm going to pan around back towards the rear of the house. That's that side garden area. So we were stood down there by that egg-shaped chair a few moments ago. There's the back of the main house. And then there's a further little area just at the top here. It's not little, it's quite big actually. Sitting area there for the chic shed. You know, these old railway sleeper steps here are quite attractive as well, and this leads up to this upper tier of garden where there is a little garden pond. So there's the pond. You've got the decking beyond that, and then you've got just another store shed and another little sitting area, and lots of trees and shrubs, bushes, plants surrounding that do all come out into beautiful colour in the preceding months. And that's just the side of the Kite building from there. So we're at the very top of the garden now, and hopefully that gives you a good idea of what the surroundings of this fantastic property offer. Now there's one other area just up outside the Kite which I'll show you shortly, but just before I do that, let's take you inside the chic shed whilst we're here, and also the office building. So, the chic shed, what's that all about, I hear you say? So the chic shed, as I say, it sits within the garden area, and this is all been done out very, very nicely. As you'll see, we've got boarded walls, we've got insulated walls, we've got light, we've got power points in here. There is a bed, there is a settee, and there is a double glazed window there. So just to show you the power points and things, you can even come up here and make a cup of tea, look. It's a cute little area and it's a bit of fun. You know, this area could be used for whatever the new owner sees fit, but there's a little unit for when family come to stay. You know, if you were having grandchildren around or younger kids, they would absolutely love this area of the property. So as I say, it's just a little bit of fun and something a little bit different. So onward and upward now towards the office building. So we're back around at the opposite side of the main house now. We've got this nice large decked area there. Underneath the covers there, there's some seating, so table and chairs. So it's a great spot for an alfresco meal, morning coffee, evening drink, whatever it is you want to do. There's the office building, all nicely clad, and obviously access on up to the Kite. So as we go into the office building here, there's a few bits and bobs in here at the moment, but you get the general idea. So we've got a nice tiled floor in here. There's light, so LED lighting up in the ceiling. And it's a mono-pitched roof, which is quite nice, so it just gives it a bit more character. Double glazed windows and doors throughout here. So it's a great place to come up and work. So if you live and work from home, this will make a great office space, and you know, it's nice to actually leave the building to go to work. I know you're only in your own garden still, but it does feel like you're actually leaving to go to work in the morning. Having said that, you'll save on fuel costs because you haven't got to go very far. Sliding doors here, which lead out onto that nice terrace. So this would be a good garden room, summer house, workshop, man or woman cave, you name it, you can probably do it from here. So you can see there's a bit of a view there from the deck. You know, if you were sat down having a drink or a meal, you do look across the town as well. So it's a lovely area to come and enjoy. Let's head on up now towards the Kite. So, final part of the external tour. We're heading on up these lovely sleeper steps now. Now, you've got a lovely sunbathing area here. So there's the sun loungers, just to prove it. A nice screened and private area to come and sit and enjoy. And then we've got the Kite building here. Now, it is a little bit windier today, so my apologies if there is a little bit of wind noise on the sound here. But I hope you'll agree with me, this really is a magnificent building, you know, beautifully designed and very unusual. But obviously the Kite name comes from the shape of the building and its sort of pointed and angular facade there. But when you get up to the top of the garden here, as you're just about to see now, the views really do open up even more. You're looking right out over the town, so the hills in the distance there are the Torrs. You can see the Bristol Channel off in that direction, right in the middle of the shot. Now the sea and the sky, sadly today, are a reasonably similar colour, so it's difficult to pick up on the camera. But I promise you, you can see the sea from up here. So you're looking right back down over your garden, looking right back down out towards the town. And this is a great spot for sunsets. You know, the sun sets pretty much out that way. So some spectacular sunsets throughout the year. But also, you know, just a great vantage point to sit and enjoy, again, a barbecue, an evening meal, or your guests that are using the Kite, because obviously if you do decide to holiday let this, your guests have got this fantastic amenity space that they can come and use and come and enjoy. We've got direct access to it from those sliding doors from the main living space within the Kite. Obviously we've shown you some of that already from the internal walkthrough tour. So there we are, there's another pan around towards the view. There is a little area around this side of the Kite, just a further decked area and a further little sitting spot. The double doors there lead off from the ground floor bedroom, and then just walkways around the side of the property up to the hedge boundary that you see there. Of course, the Kite has its balcony as well, and obviously the elevation that the balcony has gives you an even better view, but I've already shown you that from the internal walkthrough tour. I'm just going to wander around to this side of the building before concluding. So not a lot around here, just the side boundary, rear boundary here. You'll see it's all sort of hedged and fenced in, so safe for children, safe for dogs and all of that sort of thing. So there we are. I hope you've enjoyed the wander around outside, into the office, into the sheep shed, and up towards the Kite.
So that's the walk around of the external areas, and again, you know, very much like inside, everything is beautifully presented. I said in the video there, you know, no one's gardens are going to look perfect in very early February. But you know, during the summer months, and you can just see him behind me here, you know, on the shot of the Kite and the gardens, and hopefully through, you know, when we were showing some of the earlier bits, how lovely the gardens are in the summer. So it's a real treat, and they are very, very private, which again is unusual for something right in the centre of the town, or very close to the centre of the town. So just to go on to the next stage, obviously when you buy a house, it's always nice to know what's around in the local area. And there's lots to see and explore around Ilfracombe and around the North Devon area itself. So we've got fantastic beaches, certainly at Willicombe, Saunton and Croyd. We've got lovely countryside, including very easy access to the Exmoor National Park. You know, there's shops, there's restaurants, there's theatres, there's cinemas, there's lots of different leisure pursuits and things to enjoy here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to play you another very short video, which will enable you just to get a better feel for the local area as well. So I shall just get that queued up and ready. So here we are. Very nearly there. Okay, so let's just play the local area video guide. Okay, I hope that helps. You know, some spectacular scenery there and some fabulous beaches and countryside, and obviously the local towns and villages in the immediate area as well. You know, we often talk about property and lifestyle. You know, Devon, Fairfield and The Kite very much suits, you know, a lifestyle purchase. If you're relocating from the busy urban areas, you know, London, the home counties areas, the Midlands, you know, Birmingham area, the bigger northern cities, Manchester, Liverpool, wherever, you know, you can come and live in a fantastic part of the world, beaches, countryside, you know, a different pace of life. You know, people semi-retiring or wanting to sort of slow down a little bit, the income streams that Kite provides are quite significant. And, you know, whether that's a full-blown income or whether that's a supplementary income to, you know, more part-time working would be entirely up to you. So, you know, it really is a lifestyle property, and North Devon really does give a fantastic lifestyle opportunity. So with that in mind, I just wanted to now share a little bit more information about the holiday let income that the property offers. So again, I will just try and get my stuff sort of queued up and ready for that. So just bear with me 1 second whilst I do, and then I can just show you some information here about, you know, the holiday let figures. So there we are. Let's get onto the right slide again. I just wanted the full screen there, really. Right, we'll get there in a minute. My apologies. Sorry if I'm making you look dizzy as I'm flipping through these pictures. Right, there we are, back to where we want to be. Good. Okay, so holiday let income. Now, there are two options here with holiday letting. Obviously, the Kite is holiday let, and that is currently producing, as you will see at the top of the screen there, £45,000 or thereabouts. Now, the current owners manage the property themselves. They live in the main house, so they're on site, so it's pretty easy for them to manage. They have their own website, and they also advertise on Airbnb and Booking.com. So they get a combination of bookings through all of those different sites. So in terms of what they get through Airbnb and Booking.com, it's around about £37,000 a year. And then they get people coming to them sort of privately, family and friends, people like that. So the additional £8,000 or so is made up from there. And that's based very broadly on 39 weeks of bookings. So 39 weeks is phenomenal. You know, I don't know many properties in and around North Devon that do that sort of level of weeks. Now, you'll see, you know, with Airbnb, generally speaking, the model is based upon a nightly rate rather than a weekly rate. Now, in the more busier times, so probably from sort of May, June onwards, it's generally week-to-week bookings that the owners take, but it's still based on that nightly rate. So you'll see there the low season nightly rate is £195, the mid-season nightly rate is £220, and the peak season nightly rate is up to £250. So that helps to pull in that fantastic income up around the £45,000 mark. Now, more remarkably, the owners do choose, you know, who they would like to, you know, stay in the building. Now, don't get me wrong; they're not anti-people in any way, shape, or form. Far from it. They're absolutely very personable people. But they do specialise really in couples and families. So small families of 4. So babies and teenagers only. So they don't tend to take children between the ages of 2 and 12. So if you're below 2, fine. If you're above 12, fine. So, you know, even when they're limiting some of the bookings, they're still pulling in that fantastic number of weeks and that fantastic income. Now, of course, if you were looking at this property from a complete investment point of view, then it is possible to holiday let 11 Fairfield as well. So 11 Fairfield could be let as a separate entity, so you could have 2 different people looking to holiday let the individual bits of the property, or you could have bigger groups, you know, holidaying together by combining the 2 properties for 1 booking. Now, the income streams, I'm sure, will increase massively. You know, if the Kite is able to pull in somewhere in the region of £45,000, you would expect 11 Fairfield to at least double that income. So you would be looking, I'm sure, in the region of about £100,000 from this property. Now, we are very well connected to local holiday let companies, so we would be able to provide bespoke quotations for 11 Fairfield as well, if that option was of interest to you. So, you know, the holiday let income really is quite, quite it's very good. It's not quite good, it's extremely good. And as I say, gives another dimension to this property. So that pretty much gets us towards the end of our presentation today. I haven't noticed any questions coming in so far. So I'm assuming that I've done such a fantastic job and covered all of the information that you need. If anyone's got any questions logged on now, please do fire them my way just before we finish. Of course, you know, after today's presentation, you know, we don't go away. We are here, and we would love to talk to anybody that has taken a keen interest in this property. We can answer any other questions that you've got specifically. And of course, we'd love to book in a full physical viewing for you. It really is a stunning place. The only way you can truly appreciate what you've got here is coming and seeing it in the flesh. You know, you can never substitute a physical viewing to get a real feel for the area as much as the property itself as well. So I'm assuming that we have no further questions. No,
none, Lee.
No, that's fine. I've obviously done such a good job then and explained everything so well. Great, excellent. So to come and view this property physically, or to ask us more questions, talk to us about it, or any other properties that we have for that matter, please do call us. We're on 01271 863 091. All of our properties can be seen at our website, www.weathers.co.uk. A final thank you from me again for you giving up your time this evening. Great to have you on board. I hope you enjoyed the presentation. I hope, furthermore, you loved the property. That's the whole point of this presentation in the first place. So we do look forward to hearing from you. I will bid you a fond farewell. Have a good evening and good night.